Did you see that iPhone glitch, that photo that's going viral from that wedding dress?
Yeah.
I've only seen it briefly.
It's hard to wrap your mind around. There's a woman, if you haven't seen this yet, there's a woman standing in front of a three-way mirror. She's getting fitted for a wedding dress. And someone behind her takes a picture. And if you just look at it, you're like, I'm not sure what's wrong with the picture. But then you can see in one mirror, her arms are folded. In the other mirror, her arms are like out to her side. And when you see the real person from behind, her arm's in a third position. And the reason is the iPhone that the picture was taken with caught it at just it must be a millisecond where she moved her arms and didn't compute quite the right way. And because of that, you have three different photo looks in the same photo. It's really odd.
I've heard your explanation and I've heard the technical explanation. I'm still skeptical because it's three perfectly different images, but they're perfectly still.
Right.
There's no...
Well, she was moving, apparently, when
but there's no blur.
No, there is no blur. This is the explanation from an iPhone expert.
He's like, I've never seen it this bad or this scary, but what happens is an iPhone is not a camera, it is a computer. And so when an iPhone takes a photo, it takes a series of burst images very quickly from left to right. At the exact moment that it like crossed behind your back, you raise your arms. And then it's made a completely different image on the other side. And it's like made an AI decision and it's stitched those two photos together.
It's very odd. I still can't quite get how it happens.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose I understand that it shoots left to right.
Mm-hmm.
But how is there not a blur? How are there three completely distinct images with no blur?
Three. If she's moving her arms, I mean, you should move your arms quickly into it, and so it catches all three. I wonder if it happens every so often. You don't realize it, though, because there's no mirror. This caught the images in the mirror.
Yeah, but plenty of people do selfies, mirror selfies.
Right. But she said, this woman who was just talking said, this is a 1 in a billion. I mean, out of a billion photos, this happens once.
Well, put me in the skeptics camp.
Yeah. But how else? Are you saying they faked it somehow?
Yeah. Photoshopped it.
Oh, so that's pretty easy to do, Photoshop.
You just put one, you hold your arms in three different positions.
And then Photoshop
and then you put
it
two
around.
of them in the other mirror.
I mean, it's possible, I suppose, just to go viral, maybe. But according to this woman, I have a photo on the wall in my man cave. And it's of a baseball team from the early 1900s. It's the All-Star game from the early 1900s. And the way the photo technology was then, just as it is now, it takes the picture from left to right, but it's much slower. So the team had to stand in exactly the same position as the image was photographed from left to right. Well, one guy on one of the teams was on the far left of the photo and also on the far right of the photo because as the picture started, he intentionally ran all the way down to the other end so he could be in it twice. And he is. His image is in there twice.
It's crazy that you mentioned that because as technology has evolved, we were going. I think I may have told you guys that I'm going through mountains of old photographs that my dad had collected. Our family had amassed over the years.
Right.
Trying to get rid of some, trying to digitize some, and send them to the proper family members. Well, my wife has a stash of photographs too, and some of them are from her days in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess her senior class went to Washington D.C. for the day.
Right.
So. And it's a beautiful photograph. It's a giant, it's probably almost 1.5 feet long of the entire senior class with the Capitol building behind them.
Nice.
Spectacular photograph.
Yeah.
Well, she said, look carefully. What do you think about this picture? And I said, well, it's a beautiful day.
Picture, yes.
The lighting is good. But the people in the top two people in the back row are on either side. They did it too.
They did the same thing not that long ago.
No.
Oh, that's wild.
That is.
I know.
Now, I don't believe you can do that today. It's much too instantaneous.
I thought so too. But now would you have to run behind the camera?
My understanding of the baseball player was he ran from one spot. But you'd think you'd catch an image all the way, like of him running.
Mm-hmm.
Some blurry.
That's why you go behind the camera.
Maybe he did go behind
to
the
take
camera.
your spot.
Well, maybe that's what they did, but that's pretty hard. They're on the Capitol steps. He's got to go all the way around.
Well, no, they're a good distance. They're like on the lawn.
Okay, so they've got to go.
The Capitol's in the distance.
But as a picture's being taken, if you're running around the camera, that's going to take 10 seconds.
And they may have been on like a terrace or a stair step.
It would be interesting to see how they did that.
Yeah.
How it was done. But do you think this is a modern day version of that? That it's so fast but a movement it's caught like that.
You know me, I don't know technology, but it looks too clean.
It's completely clean. But then again, so are the photos in the Capitol and the baseball.
Yes.
Well,
photos.
and I think
they're clean.
What she
But
said
that's
there,
trickeration.
It is. Well,
yeah. What she said there at the beginning could be a part of it too. We think of these as phones.
Yeah.
As phones.
She
and
says
cameras.
they're not cameras.
And she says no, these are computers.
Right.
Which technically, you look even 40 years ago, we're carrying around a computer in our pocket.
Right.
Yeah.
We 20 years ago, a digital camera. But I wonder if she's saying a camera would never do this. Like your old
A Nikon,
Canon, Kodak camera wouldn't do this because it's done a different way. Plus, you have to go and get it developed and all of that stuff. Of course, this is instantaneous. But that's interesting about the Capitol photo.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think your wife snuck some cigarettes behind the Capitol? Because she used to at the football games.
I won't comment on that.
Remember now, your wife and I are the same age.
You crossed paths well before she and I did.
I saw her cheerleading down at Trinity High when they played the Blue Comets. And I didn't know.
Bulldogs in town.
Bulldogs were in town. And I always sat on the opposing team's side so I could
check out the fresh cheerleaders.
Take a look. I've seen all the Blue Comet cheerleaders.
They won't give me the time of day.
Right. They just said the Bulldog cheerleaders. Well, there was little future Beth Demm under the bleachers just smoking a cigarette here and there. I don't know. She's told me that.
That comes over in 5 minutes, girls.
Yep. I thought that's what you were going to say.
Band's coming off. Let's go.
When you were talking about that photo, I thought you were going to say, look closely, there's a plume of smoke around. No.
Is that a Marlboro Light?
This is different. This is a different thing. Michael, you're talking about the how this is done and the baseball photo that I have. Go ahead.
Morning, guys. Love the show.
Thank you.
I've actually got that photo also, and from what I understand, they took that picture in 3 pictures. That the guys were told to stand still, and they took the left side, the center, and the right side. And as they were taking each individual picture, that's when the guy ran to the other end.
He moved, right? Yeah. So, do you think this thing? Have you seen the woman
the wedding dress
in the wedding dress?
I have not seen that, no.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if this is the same type thing, but the computer now, the phone, is so fast that it's just a movement and it caught it. Well, the explanation is hard to even understand.
Yeah.
I don't get that. Thank you, Michael. That's interesting.
You got your photo.
I do love the photo. You see it a lot of times in sports bars and stuff, and it's an old all-star picture. And that's the coolest thing about it. Every player's name is listed below and the description of what he did.
You don't take a lot of photographs with your phone, Kelly.
No.
But Biggie knows there's something called Pano. It's like a panoramic shot. That's a setting on your camera.
Yeah.
And what you can do is, if you were at, let's say, the Daytona Speedway and you're standing on top, you can shoot a panoramic view of the racetrack. You just kind of sweep your phone from left to right.
Yes.
Well, we've done pictures, some friends and I, and he'll start on the one hand side. He'll run behind me, so he'll be on the left and the right.
And so that
you
can
can
be
do that.
Yeah.
Even today, that can be with that.
Yeah.
I've seen that done on the beach. Oh, you did it. I've seen you do it. Yeah. You're the only person I've ever. I don't do that. I don't know anything about it.
Somebody told me once.
Yeah, it was you that did. Let me see the pictures I've taken. I took a picture of my new paddle.
Oh God.
I'm gonna have that framed. I took a picture of it last night. I just wanted to.
I don't think you should have that framed. I don't think that needs to be a legacy.
Is the tape job custom?
That's homemade. I did that. I had to build that up. It was a little too skinny for my hand.
It looks like a Japanese video game.
Yeah.
Or like a robot face.
That's my new paddle, and I'm sending out photographs of it to anyone
It's
who
my
wants.
Christmas card.
Yeah. Stephanie, you're talking about the photo glitch, the woman in the wedding dress. Go ahead.
I was actually in one of the photos that you guys were talking about in front of the Capitol.
What?
We did. It's just a special camera that takes like 3 different shots and puts them together. But that's how they're doing it. So when I chaperoned my students to DC, I'm on one side and on the other. So they just kind of tell you, okay, we're taking the first shot, now run, and then we ran to the other side. So nothing fancy. It's just taking 3 pictures.
Do you have to? Okay. Do you have to run behind the camera, or you can just run behind the group?
We ran behind the group.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And straight to the other side.
It's amazing. I mean, to this little mind, old Blue Comet.
Shoot.
That is sorcery and witchcraft. My daughter would see that and go, "Get it out of
Demons.
here." Yeah, absolute demons.
Yeah, that's a portal.
Thank you, Stephanie. Yeah, that's a
Portal to the underworld.
First class portal to the underworld. Michelle in Japan, our listener from farthest away, has had a similar glitch, she says. Go ahead, Michelle.
Yeah, so I have. So to try and explain this, basically your camera is running AI in there. And when it takes the photo, it takes essentially kind of like a video, and then it processes that using AI to create the best image from it. And way back in the iPhone 5S days when I was, or 4S days when I was traveling in Japan, I went to the beach and I took a photo of the beach, of the shoreline. And there was some glitch. I don't know if I accidentally changed the position of the phone and it decided to rotate, but the AI messed up. And what it did was all the frames that it had taken in that one shot, it turned them into a spiral. So the whole beach turned into this crazy beach sand water spiral in the photo. It was absolutely bizarre looking, and it took me forever to figure out how it happened.
Wow.
And nowadays I know how it happened.
Yeah.
It was really weird.
Just a glitch like that. Whoa.
Yeah, so it's essentially just taking like a whole ton of photos all at once and mashing it in with AI, processing it into one image.
But yours was distorted. Your images were a mess.
Right.
Yeah.
You would never see a perfectly framed bride.
This one is perfectly framed, and there are two mirrors. Have you
Because
seen
of the mirrors?
Yeah, the mirrors.
Is what really caused it to do that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I still can't get it. Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah.
Very good to hear from you as always. I'm always amazed when sometimes I'll see a photo and there's a second of movement just before the photo. You know what I'm talking about? You don't know what I'm talking about? Where the photo.
Oh, the live photos.
I guess that's what it is.
Yeah, yes. That's
when you hold your thumb on it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
You've accidentally done that.
Yeah,
Yeah, every photo my mom sends is live, and I'm like, I can't.